world. We back tonight with our September issue 2025 of Kavaiola, and it's just been officially announced that September is Hawaiian History Month. So congratulations, Hawaiians. Side note, if you guys like the beanie, hop on over to shopcoconutkingdom.com. Y'all can find the beanie plus a whole variety of tees, hats, bags, and a lot more. So without any further ado, let's get into it. This article is titled Maunakea in Transition by Donnellan. There's an undocumented organizational chart that John follows as executive director of the Maunakea Stewardship and Oversight Authority, or MKSOA. The mountain is above the governor, is above all branches of government, because ultimately, no matter where you stand in the org chart, we're all accountable to Maunakea, said DeFrays. It's just easier for me to keep that image constantly because in cultural context, the spirit of that mountain is something real and something that I personally feel accountable to. The guiding philosophy shapes the work of the MKSOA, which was created by state legislation in 2022. In July 2023, it began a 5-year transition to assume governance of all general leases, easements, and permits for Mauna Kea, currently held by the University of Hawaii and the State Department of Land and Natural Resources. DeFrays became the executive director in 2024 after approval from the 12-member board. Most of the board is Native Hawaiian, including several who were at the forefront of the 30-meter telescope, or TMT, protest demonstrations on Mauna Kea in 2019. Dr. Noe, MKSOA vice chair, is one of them. Being on the Mauna was very emotional, and still to this day, we carry that emotion deep in our na'o, said Wong. Although the MKSOA is a state government entity, its board's composition has deeply shaped the way it operates, embedding cultural protocol and Hawaiian knowledge into every meeting and decision-making process. We ground ourselves in our cultural perspective, said Wong. We open every one of our meetings either with the pule or we give the individual authority members the opportunity to reflect, to say something, to set our intentions for the day. In July 2023, the MKSOA began a co-management of Mauna Kea and is now developing a new culturally responsive and sustainable management model for the mountain. The management plan requires community input, and once approved, the MKSOA will assume full management duties on July 1st, 2028. In 2024, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs challenged the constitutionality of Act 255, which established the MKSOA. In June 2025, OHA withdrew its challenge, acknowledging the need for a new approach to Mauna Kea stewardship and advocacy, and pledged its support to the Native Hawaiian leaders currently serving on the MKSOA. There's a lot of work to be done in a short time frame. Act 255 requires us to come up with our own management plan, our own master plan, and our own financial plan, noted DeFrays. We're going to need every day, every week left on a 34-month clock to get that done. The MKSOA meets the second Thursday of each month. It hosts community talk story gatherings in districts across Hawaii Island, although attendance has been low. Some of us have never served on government boards or commissions before, and so what really drives us is to ensure that every step of the way we engage community in what we're doing, said Wong. And sometimes it can be frustrating because we'll hold community meetings and we're not certain if people are just not well informed that our meetings are taking place, or if it's because TMT is no longer the hot topic issue. The TMT project shifted away from Mauna Kea after losing National Science Foundation funding following federal budget cuts in June 2025. Mauna Kea remains home to 13 telescopes. As part of its long-term stewardship commitments, the University of Hawaii has pledged to remove 5 telescopes from UH-managed lands. Since 2024, 3 have been decommissioned. I don't discount the earnest sorrow that people have for the Mauna and the gifts that the Mauna provides for us, said Wong. The biggest challenge for me personally has been to be able to sit and listen with open ears and an open heart and open mind to the various points of view and the people whose livelihood depends on being on the Mauna. This responsibility for extensive community engagement while safeguarding the Mauna's integrity and sanctity now rests with Kua Owakea, a team of consultants recently contracted by the MKSOA to develop a comprehensive Mauna Kea management plan. Kua Owakea is led by SSFM Consulting, nonprofit DTL Foundation, and the Edith Kanakaole Foundation. It has additional support from Mahina Passion Consulting, Konane Law, Ho'opili Ho Research Group, and Aina Archaeology. Meanwhile, the slow pace of government checks and balances continues to frustrate the MKSOA, which must navigate procurement procedures to hire needed staff. It just takes a long time for us to get anything done, given the process that we're forced to work under as a state agency. And not only that, but we're also brand new. So we're building this vehicle while we're driving down the road, said Wong. On March 27, 2025, Maunakea was designated a traditional cultural property and district on the National Register of Historic Places by the United States government. I think there's also irony in the fact that the creation of the authority was to give more voice locally, right? And something like the national designation requires an additional tier of review, said the phrase. But I certainly appreciate the fact that people who care about Mauna Kea wanted to ensure that the highest level of scrutiny available by law would be applicable. Even with those extra layers of oversight, the MKSOA's commitment is unwavering. Our focus is taking care of Mauna Kea and making sure that for future generations we do so in a way that Mauna Kea will be healthy in all of its splendor and all of the ways that she feeds us, said Wong. All right, guys.